today we have the guys from Prep, all the way from London. Hopefully we could see them here in Jakarta soon again. So how are you guys? Prep, how are you guys?
Oh, we're good, thanks.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
So what are you guys busy with right now? I mean, I know there's a tour coming up, but what are you guys busy with right now?
Well, yeah, we're rehearsing for the first time in a while. So we're trying to kind of, get the chops going again. Remember how all the songs go. And yeah, getting pretty excited because this can be the first shows that we've done for a while.
First of all, I a lot of people know you here in Jakarta because especially in Jakarta, and also in Indonesia, you've performed here as well in Jakarta. So, but we would like more people to hear Prep music. I myself love your songs. They're so easy to listen to. I play them again and again in my car just to give, just to lift up my mood because it makes me feel good. But how would you describe your music?
The key word, I think, would be smooth. We play music that, if you dissect it, is a bit difficult to make, but we make it sound effortless and easy. Smooth,
that's right.
Is the right word.
Yeah, I agree, because easy listening doesn't in any way mean easy music. I mean, you listen to the Beatles, it's so easy to listen to them. But when you try to learn their music, it's so hard, it's so difficult, and you can't really imagine how they make that music, right? So especially with the background like you guys, you have very different musical backgrounds. Now, when you joined together as Prep, how did you guys know that this would work out,
I mean, I don't actually think we knew until we went into the room together. The first session was myself, Dan, and Guillaume, and we hadn't really worked together before, but that day we wrote a couple of demos really quickly, and so that obviously just fitted straight away, So it just kind of it just felt sort of quite natural quite quickly.
But we didn't really know if it was going to work or not. So it was about trial and error and see what happened. And I think, when we first heard Tom demoing Cheapest Flight, we knew we had something special.
Yeah, and for me, it's kind of, it was really different from the kind of creation of other bands that I've been in. Like, for me, always before, it's been, I don't know, you meet some people or you kind of get together with some friends you know really well, and you're like, oh, maybe we should do a band together, that'd be really fun. And then you try and work out what kind of music you're going to make on what you are as a group. Yeah. But with Prep, it was so kind of clear from the very beginning. Dan kind of pitched the idea to me as we're going to make this kind of music. It was really specific, and I think that's been really helpful to us throughout. Even when we've deviated from that a little bit, we've always had this very clear sense of what Prep is and what it's not as well. That's useful.
I'd like to know, you guys performed in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta. Tell us a little about what you remember most about the city, about Jakarta or about Indonesia. Did you guys have the chance to visit outside Jakarta?
So we've been lucky. Yeah, we've been to a few places. The first city we came to was Bandung.
Oh, you went to Bandung first. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we played it was called the Kampoeng Jazz Festival in Bandung. It was the first show we ever played outside the UK. So that was a huge one for us. And I think we all, it was an amazing experience to kind of come somewhere so hot and so exciting and such a long way from home and find all these Prep fans. So that was that was a massive, massive deal for us.
How did you feel about that?
I love that town.
Being out of London, finding out that you have a massive fan base, how did you feel about that?
And that was absolutely crazy.
We had no idea.
Yeah, we didn't have any, because I remember, I think Tom had said, if anyone wants us to sign a record or something, come down after the merch stand. And, we thought, a few fans would show up, but, there was probably 100 people waiting for us. And we were just blown away,
we were like people's backs on the t-shirt.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And the crowd as well, we had no idea how big this show was going to be and how many people come. And, I remember we had to sound check the night before.
Yeah.
In what would normally be a kind of sort of empty arena. And actually, even then, there were like kind of 200-300 people who'd snuck in to kind of hear the sound
someone was singing the beginning of Cheek Flight to us. And we were like, oh, okay, you guys all know the music.
Yeah.
And it's important.
So
it's important to note that when we did that show, we only had 4 songs, and we were invited to play a show. So we tried to play other songs, but then we replayed Sunburnt and Cheapest Flight twice because we didn't meet the set time. It was crazy.
I wouldn't mind listening to Cheapest Flight twice. It's a great song. So I'm sure they were happy about that. But I can imagine, were you guys playing the music and everything that going through your head was like, these people know our music. I mean, your music is great.
Crazy. And I remember just before, because it was quite a crazy atmosphere, and just before, some guy had come up to me and said, "Are you okay with flame cannons?" I asked the guy, "Are you okay?" And so in the middle of Cold Fire or something, it's like flames start coming from the stage like that, you know.
Then he took off my eyebrow.
Yeah,
it was amazing. I remember it.
Yeah.
So could I say, for your fans in Bandung who would be really happy, Bandung is a city that you would never forget about.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. We will never forget Bandung.
Would you come back then?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can't wait. And then we've been to Jakarta a couple of times, and that was amazing. I mean, that's the last show we played before.
Yeah.
Lockdown was Java Jazz.
Yeah.
That was another incredible one. I mean, that whole festival was amazing. And we've been around a little bit. So we've been to Bali.
Yeah.
We played a show in Bali.
We played a few shows.
But what would you say? I mean, each of you. Like, I want everyone's answer on this. What would you say is your favorite thing from Indonesia? Like, it could be food, it could be people, it could be places, it could be whatever. Like, each of you, what is your favorite thing about Indonesia? I would like to know that.
Well, for me, Indonesia has such a special place in my heart because it was the first place to ever invite us to perform. And it's also the last place we have performed at currently.
Yeah.
And the support from the fans has been amazing. So, yeah, for me, that's what it is.
Yeah,
All right.
I'd echo all of that, and then maybe start to talk about the food a little bit.
Right. It's
amazing. It was like the first time we got taken to Bali by promoters there. Yeah, they took us down to like the beach, and we sat at this massive long table.
Barren Beach.
Yeah, and just all of this amazing grilled fish was coming out, and the sun was going down over the sea. It was incredible.
So,
it was great.
What else?
I mean, I of course the people that the thing that got me first of all interested was gamelan, from Bali, but also from Java. So I'd have to say the gamelan, and also I love the puppet shows they have.
Yeah.
They're like the shadow puppets and stuff like
The
that.
wayang.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that sort of that culture is, I think, just unbelievably unique and interesting, and I really love it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. Everyone's kind of covered a lot, really. I mean, it's just, I think maybe I'd say, even like that, say the people and the food and everything, like just the vibe, it was, I really remember actually more than the gig we did in Bandung the night before, and we did the sound checks. I think it was the first time we'd left where we were staying. So we got off the plane, we were just tired, sleeping, probably with all the curtains drawn. And then we got out of the hotel, and just the smell of like the food, because we were near the venue where people were cooking out on the street, and the humidity, the noise. London is, compared to somewhere like Bandung or definitely Jakarta, so quiet, and everyone's just like, you kind of hear the sound of like traffic, but this is just, it's crazy, like loud and music and talking, and it's just it's magic, that just the ambiance. Love it.
You guys are having a US tour, right? Coming up. So anything like, I mean, this is like 2 years. Your last gig was in Jakarta, and you haven't been on a huge gig for 2 years. Although you did show up in Indonesia online through a television service, right? So that was great. But then again, it's not the same as like a live show, right? So what have you guys prepared for the live show? And another question is, when are you going to bring that back to Bandung, back to Jakarta, probably back to Bali?
Well, I think the answer is as soon as possible. There's obviously the issue at the moment is just the kind of COVID rules and things, and with traveling between countries. As soon as that is settled and more clear what's happening, we will be back. We will be back very soon. In terms of like the shows, all the new songs, obviously, and when we come back out to Indonesia, we will have a new kind of stage thing with some visuals and stuff that's all being worked on at the moment.
Would you like to say any words for your, last words for your fans here in Indonesia?
Oh, just that, thank you guys for being there from the beginning. And, we love you, and we've always had an amazing time. They've been the really like big shows for us. Like we talked about, Bandung one, first one we ever played outside the UK. Java Jazz was our kind of temporary farewell for live shows before the pandemic. And we'll be back as soon as we can.
It's been great talking to you guys, and we'll see you here in Jakarta, Bandung, Bali, Jogja. We'd love to have you anywhere here in Indonesia. Thanks so much, guys.
We'll make it happen. Can't wait. Thanks.
See you there.